everybody. This is day 4 here in Quarantine Cafe. I legitimately don't know what day of the week it is. What are we at?
It's Friday!
Friday! Okay, I should have a cocktail right now. But I don't, and we need to change that soon enough. So as soon as we sign off, cocktail time. Hope everybody's having a good Friday leading into the weekend. Hope everyone is staying indoors as best as they can. Gonna try and do something, we got some really good response on our lentil chili, and doing some more kind of vegetarian and close enough to vegan as I'm looking down it. I got one ingredient we might have to tweak up, but trying to do some veggie forward dishes. If you like things a little more of an Asian bent, if you have some of this stuff in your pantry, this is a great dish. It's gonna be kind of a Thai style red curry. It doesn't require, as you see in front of me, I've got, not counting, oil and salt, I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 things total. I think three or four of which were fresh, so pretty easy to do if this is the kind of stuff that you normally stock in your pantry on hand. If you don't, as we go through, this is super customizable. There are really only about 2 things that are kind of have to have on here, but beyond that, take it in any direction you want to. So I got a hot pan. We're going to find out how hot this is in just a second. So I'm going to try. I enjoyed the one we did yesterday where we were able to actually do the dish start to finish in front of you. So I've got some red bell pepper. This is just one.
Sizzle, sizzle.
But it's not as hot as this little burner is going to get for us, unfortunately. We're going to add some salty things later, but I've got some shredded carrots as well. Anytime I'm trying to either sweat or soften vegetables, I'll kind of season in stages. The salt also acts as a desiccant and kind of helps bring some of the moisture out of what we're doing. Sorry, I accidentally stuck my thumb in the red curry face.
Do not put it in your eye.
No, don't do that. And they say, I heard a good thing on that note on washing your hands. Tons of fun videos and memes and things out there on washing your hands. One of them that I heard was wash your hands like you just finished chopping jalapenos and you intend to touch your face. Don't touch your face. Bad times. The songs that are out there. If any of you guys have any fun songs to for hand washing, I know the standard thing they taught us in the restaurants was sing Happy Birthday twice. I had a health inspector come in. She wanted to watch me wash my hands according to protocol, and the one that I had in my head that kind of worked for me was the first verse of Al Green's "Let's Stay Together." So that kind of stuck with me. Imagine you're a government official just watching someone and he's singing aloud, "I'm so in love with you." Seemed to work for me. Somebody else said "Never Gonna Give You Up" by Rick Astley. That was great. So if anybody else has any suggestions?
Africa.
Africa. Okay.
The refrain is just long enough.
Is it? Great.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So we got Matthew Wong in the house.
Hey, Matt. Good to have you here.
And Sarah Ann.
Sarah Ann, nice to see you as well.
New to the cafe.
Woo! I've way too much energy for having been up in here for several days. But we will keep doing this as long as you guys want to keep seeing stuff, and as long as Wendy wishes to eat dinner, we will keep doing these.
We survived week 1.
We did survive week 1. We're still in the middle of it, but I feel pretty good about where we are so far. If this doesn't work, we're gonna kind of like with the other. We'll move it to the stove in a little while, but. So as this is going to kind of cook down, this is a great way to really incorporate, as I'm deciding which order to put them in, some of the aromatic parts of the pantry. Garlic has been a part of every dish that we've done. It's a good way to add flavor. It's durable. If you buy it in the whole, the heads, and keep those just in a cool, dry place in your pantry, that'll keep for a long time. It's super versatile in all our dishes. If you do tend to want to cook things with an Asian bent, if you like hot tea, if you like cocktails, ginger is a really good one to have. The way I kind of dispatched this was it was pretty young, so I had some curves to navigate. I would take a spoon instead of a peeler or a knife and just kind of whittle my way around it to get the skin off, and then run it on a microplane. If you don't have any of those, I would assume you would have spoons. But if you don't have a microplane, just chop it up as fine as you can.
Mm-hmm. Sarah Ann says she's about to spend this weekend making soups and sauces to freeze. Maybe we can do one of those next week.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. I think we've got a few stews in our repertoire. I think at some point, whenever we do another one, we've got a soup, vegetable soup that'll be really good to freeze. Speaking of freeze, if you guys have any greens, fresh leafy greens, spinach, kale, fresh herbs like mint, basil, parsley, cilantro. If you want to chop those up really fine, or even put them in your food processor, and then stick them in just sealable, kind of airtight Tupperware containers. If they're ice cube trays, if you're like us, as I see Wendy smiling as I hold up my favorite deli containers. In restaurants, these things are all over the place. If you like to order a lot of Thai or Vietnamese takeout, as we do, they'll kind of put their soups and curries and whatnot in there, so we hang on to those. But just stick those in your freezer, and they'll keep and kind of maintain their freshness, their color, and you can use them as needed.
But careful, they multiply like rabbits in chefs' homes.
They do, and not to out my better half, but she was kind of getting on me for a while. We've got too many of these. Where are these coming from? And then we started making the Instant Pot oatmeal, and we're able to take things in, meal prep for work, and all of a sudden they became okay.
I was a fan of deli containers after that.
So I feel like I should also admit my own kind of coming around was on that note on the Instant Pot, which we have one behind us. If you guys want to see us do anything with that, visually it's not as exciting because you're going to have to wait for things to come to pressure, but I have written several recipes that have to do with Instant Pot cooking. So if you guys want to see some of those, let me know. I was one of those when it first came out. I was like, what is this thing? Come on, it's just a new piece of junk. And then the more I use it, I am 100% on Team Instant Pot for the slow cooking, for the pressure cooking. If it can be done in there, I'll try doing it.
What changed your mind?
Having wonderful food that Wendy made come out of that thing. You have enough good things that she would make. Like, all right, I'm in. And then when I had to write recipes for Southern Kitchen, that was a big thing that people were interested in. So doing more recipes, so I get to actually play with it myself. And I was like, I freaking love this thing. That's awesome. So as our veggies are getting soft, our aromatics are kind of becoming more fragrant. I've got some red curry paste. I'm not trying to grease the labels or anything. It's just the Thai Kitchen brand. It's just the way the plastic comes, you kind of have to take the whole thing off. I'm doing this for 2, but if I were cooking this for 4, I would actually use the whole jar. They, over time, I can say from at least the past 15 years, I'm just touching my face, so I'm going to wash my hands here. Count me down from 20. I don't know if I want to sing the whole time, but
yeah. This is live. Well, while you're doing that, we're going to look at this yummy, yummy plate of food. Just real easy to put together, just a couple of ingredients. We've been going to the store maybe every couple of days. It hasn't been so crazy, though I did get a little anxious in the store yesterday with social distancing. Might just have to send Jeffrey in the future.
That's right. We'll deal with it as best we can. So kind of back to the curry paste, they have changed the recipe over at least the last 15 years. Because I've been making this dish, or at least a variation of it, for a long, long time. I remember making it in college, and my friend Yale and I ate it, and we were both pretty high tolerances for heat. We went to the erstwhile Thai house in Jackson, or the Thai hot dishes. We're like, yeah, we can stay in that. And I put the whole jar of paste in, and it was as if we just attempted one of those awful man versus food challenges. We're just sitting there in his room watching TV. Where's the bread and the milk? This sucks. But they've since over the years mellowed this thing out completely. So for 2 people, about half a jar will give you good flavor, a good little background spice without knocking your socks off too much.
Return visitor John Barkell is in the house,
hey,
and Rebecca
John.
Wagner, and Lee from DC.
Hey everybody, nice to have you all with us. So this is one of those things that, we cook a lot of Thai or Vietnamese food around here, so we have fish sauce on hand. If you don't have that, soy sauce would work. If you just wanted to use salt, I'm sure if Worcestershire sauce was all you had, that wouldn't be the end of the world.
Yeah, sometimes fish sauce can be a little too exotic for some people's regular pantry.
Yeah, if you want to keep this, strictly vegetarian or vegan, you'd want to leave out the fish sauce, and soy sauce would be just fine. It's very, very pungent. So on its own, not the best. That was one of our, I don't know if I'm going to use the word hazing, but I've had former sous chefs work for me in restaurants where someone was late for their shift and didn't call. So instead of writing them up, be like, all right, here, take a shot of fish sauce. Quite vile. So just going to bring this up to a simmer as best as our trusty little $10 Walmart burner will get us. This will also be a good time. I wanted to keep this kind of veggie forward. Any veggies you have on hand, we happen to have zucchini. This is just one zucchini chopped up. Left it in pretty big pieces because after a while, just kind of knowing the nature of the quarantine pantry, one of the things we're going to be missing a lot is texture, is crunch. So being able to get some flavor into these vegetables without just cooking them to death, I think is a welcome respite from sometimes from all the sauce, the beans, the rice, the soups, the stews.
It's starting to smell great. That ginger is really, really aromatic.
Yeah.
Let's take a look.
Yeah, it's
Starting to come together.
Just kind of get everything coated. And I have this thing cranked up on max heat right now. I have no idea why it's
Petering out.
that'd be bad if I touched that. It is quite hot. Thing that if you want to kind of add a balance a little bit of the the saltiness of the fish sauce and the spice of the curry paste, just a little bit of sugar. Not a ton. Not looking to make this cloying or too sweet or anything like that. But that's kind of, when you think of Thai food or Vietnamese, you kind of think about balance. So sweet, salty, spicy, sour. So just having a little bit of that to round it out.
So is that a good hack if, like, you put too much spice in something? Will that mellow it out, or?
It depends on how aggressive. Sweetness definitely does kind of act as a counterbalance. But sometimes if you've had, if you say you put too much hot sauce or had some of the just nasty ghost pepper stuff on your wings, but they happen to have sweetness in it, your mouth's gonna still feel like you've been sucking on the tailpipe of a moped.
So there's no way to kind of neutralize that with any other ingredients?
Like you kind of have to just build it out a little bit more. I mean, if you're going for chili heat, there are two things. It's alcohol soluble, so like straight vodka or something like that, but you do have to spit that out. The more common one is anything with casein, which is a dairy protein. So especially it's fat soluble in that instance. So everybody says milk, but really more in the heavy cream or sour cream or in some degrees yogurt. The kind of thicker and creamier in that instance, that'll kind of mellow some of it out. Mayonnaise even would work. So just kind of going to let this go, and as I'm bringing this up to a simmer, we have this in our pantry on hand anyway, coconut milk, and a little bit of lime. I think I'm going to put some to start, and then we'll finish with a little bit more, because if I cook this too much, it might taste a little too sour, but I want to get a little bit of that flavor in now, and just kind of let it go. So the things simmer away. I got some rice going on the back too. That's one of those things that freezes excellently. So if you want to make large batches of rice, cook it, spread it out on a sheet tray, cool it down, and then once it is cool, divide it up into Ziploc bags, stick that in your freezer, and you can pull that out as needed. The versatility of cooked rice, can be reheated as rice. We'll probably do something with some fried rice a little on down the road.
Yum yum.
Yeah.
Tell me about your shirt, Jeffrey.
The shirt. So this is my favorite charity in the whole wide world, the Giving Kitchen right now. That's been around for about 5 years. Kind of created in honor of my late friend Ryan Heidinger. Since kind of turned into something bigger to where it helps at first Atlanta, now Georgia restaurant workers in crisis. If you can donate to them, please do. The immediacy of what's going on right now in the restaurant industry is, not to get too Debbie Downer here, but it's reality, is that just about everybody's out of work right now. The Giving Kitchen at the moment, I don't think provides, so what it originally is intended to do is provide grants, living assistance grants for restaurant workers in crisis. If you have an injury, if you have a death in the family, some type of natural disaster, for example, or other type of disaster. Several years ago when OK Cafe caught fire, they were able to onboard all of their employees and give them some kind of grant so they could do Christmas for their families. So at the moment, it's more of a resource board to kind of help people deal with, navigate filing for unemployment or, kind of following the right procedures versus giving grants. Still a wonderful organization to contribute to, at least in the Atlanta area. Matt Ryan, I know Saints fan for life, but I will forever be a Matt Ryan fan because he donated $50,000 each to the Giving Kitchen and to the Atlanta Community Food Bank. Freddie Freeman of the Braves just did the same. Kind of as far as the immediacy goes, there's some, I'll try and link to it later on, but there's some links where you can do Venmo or Cash App to just random service employees. I don't know if you can find specific ones where, if you were to, let's just say you wanted to make a drink at home, you could leave a tip for an employee like that. Just any little bit while we're still able to do takeout and things like that from certain restaurants. Most of them, the way they're doing it, they're just taking 100% of their tips and using it to pay what hourly employees they have. It's helping keep the doors open for a lot of folks right now. So please just help until we can get some larger form assistance from local, state,
federal,
and federal leadership. Don't want to get too soapboxy into that. Until we can kind of get some more ironclad plans. Anything we can do on the small local level and individual level is greatly appreciated.
Amen.
So yeah, just kind of letting this do its thing and simmer. Depending on how much texture you like in your zucchini is really about the point to kind of let it go. Come on, do your thing.
I was gonna say you're not hot enough.
This would be a good time also. As we're kind of waiting for it to simmer. I haven't been doing a good job of this on camera because some of the stews hadn't been fished yet, or the pasta. I just happened to get it right on the first go around. Just kind of tasting what you make and seeing where we need to adjust seasoning.
John Shumway has a question. Says, thanks for these videos. If we're going to the store, what are the most versatile ingredients that we should be on the lookout for that can be used in multiple dishes?
Excellent question, John. Thanks for asking. So, as we have cooking right now, rice, the grains are probably the most versatile because you can turn that into a lot of things. So, dried pasta, rices. If you're a fan of quinoa, stock up on buy that. Any kind of, like I said, grains, pastas,
canned
stuff
tomatoes.
like that. Canned tomatoes have a lot of versatility behind them. If you're on the breakfast side of things, oats are a great one to have. What else are we going to have? Beans, I think we mentioned. Eggs. If there's a particular type of kind of hard, non-perishable cheese that you like, Parmesan or Pecorino goes a long way with us. If there's one, if you're buying fresh things, take something that may last for a while, depending on how frequently you can or want to go to the store. So things like rosemary and thyme can last for a while. Let's see, with the rest of our pantry, I'd say something like soy sauce. If you like to eat things with a bit of an Asian bent to it, that's really good. Onions, garlic, vinegar,
olive oil, of course.
Olive oil, yeah, all that stuff is pretty good. You can stretch that into a variety of meals.
And it's not going to go bad, so you can use it after hopefully all this is over too.
Yeah, 100%. So hope everyone is, minding what we should be doing. So we're, as much as I love doing these videos, I don't want to have to feel like I have to keep doing these, or we can just do them for fun.
Yeah. Rawls in the house?
Hey, Rawl. Hope things are going okay out in California.
Yeah. Amy Forbes is asking, I was planning soup tonight, but I'm now going to try my hand at curry.
Well, the cool thing about this, hi, Dr. Forbes, is that if you wanted to add a little bit more coconut milk, or if you wanted to add some type of broth or stock, you could stretch this into a soup if you wanted to.
Yum.
And again, anything that you have, like if you don't have fresh vegetables, if you wanted to, beyond some of the basics, I mean, if you have, even in your fridge, if you just had, you didn't have the shredded carrots or a whole one that we had, you could just take some baby carrots and chop those up. If you wanted to use frozen peas or any type of frozen vegetable would be great. Peas freeze really well. Cauliflower and broccoli freeze really well. Those would be good additions to this. Green beans would be nice. Really anything you got or have access to. This is also a good outlet for seafood. That's one of those things that I've seen at the grocery store that has not been hit very hard because a lot of people are buying, sticking to things like chicken and ground beef and
turkey,
like all the pork, the poultry. But going over to the seafood aisle, that's a pretty big bounty. So you've got clams, you've got shrimp, you've got fresh fish. So if you have frozen shrimp, that would be great in here. I Mississippi root, so catfish would be an excellent addition in this because you kind of can't overcook it. So if you were to chop that up into cubes and just stick it in right about now as everything's simmering and just get it to where it's cooked through and a little bit flaky, that would be good too.
Awesome. Did we have any other questions from before?
I think we're doing too many of these. I think we addressed all of them.
Okay.
This is kind of towards the end of its run here. I mean, if you want to let this simmer and reduce, you could. I like the tartness of some fresh lime at the very end. And then, we happen to have, like I said yesterday, we eat things that kind of come from the Latin American pantry, from the Asian pantry. So cilantro is something that, John was asking about ingredients that are versatile. That's something that's versatile to us, because we can make salsas, we can make tacos, and have something kind of bright to finish them off. We can do, Thai, Korean, Vietnamese soups and stews. That works for us.
That's because we like cilantro.
We do. I know it's a genetic thing where a lot of people can't, and that's totally okay. If you still wanted to do the herbs and you hate cilantro, basil would be great. Mint would be great. Even parsley would be really good. And again, if kind of the continent of Asia soup stews are things that you like, they also sell in the grocery store those little tubes of kind of pureed pastes. I haven't tried a lot of them to be able to vouch for them. I know lemongrass is one that's pretty tasty and good in a pinch. I know they make ginger to where fresh things kind of fall off the radar. That's a good one to use. So we're kind of late around here, so this might be pretty close to lunchtime here. So any type of rice that you enjoy, I mean, to me, I think you'd probably get the most versatility out of a long grain rice. So just kind of a basic white rice. If you like brown rice and that's kind of where you're headed, that's great. This is basmati just because we already had it in our pantry and it works well with the dish. But, if you had, like I said, really just about any kind of long or medium grain rice, probably wouldn't use arborio, or if you're in the risotto game, anything for it. Hell, if you just had extra Chinese takeout and got steamed white rice and wanted to reheat that, this would be a good outlet for it.
Shannon's asking, when making your basmati, do you add butter or oil to your rice cooker?
I add a little bit of oil, I think some type of fat. I also rinsed the rice. Something like basmati, you want the grains to separate. You don't want them to kind of clump up on you. So rinsing off that residual starch is a good move. But yes, I do add a little bit of, in this case, oil.
Awesome.
So this is kind of start to finish. You guys got to see it. Just put on as much or as little as you like. Got plenty of veggies. I want to do a good amount of broth. Boom! I think Bam's already trademarked by some other really famous guy, so there'll be two knockoffs. Just go boom! So that's it for us. Thanks again for watching. Thank you for your questions. Thanks for the comments, all the love. What do we have coming up? I think like I said, we're going to do a vegetable soup coming up pretty soon. Eggs have been requested, so we'll probably do something like that Sunday morning. And that's it. So you guys stay safe, stay indoors, wash your hands.